so annoyed. So the shoes I ordered to go with the Goodwood Revival dress, I've been waiting like nearly 2 weeks. I ordered them and I just had an email saying thanks for your order and nothing else. Then I just had another email now that said thanks for your order, and I was like, great, they've been dispatched. No, they're out of stock. Why are they on your website? If they're out of stock, why are you taking people's money if they're out of stock? Band Retro, I'm really angry with you. I've never ordered from you before, and I probably never will again now, because that was my one experience and you've ruined it. So I'm really frustrated because I spent ages looking for the right shoes, and now I've got to go back to the drawing board and try and find some others. And my entire outfit was sort of based around the shoes. Once again, Goodwood Revival is being a source of like stress to me and not enjoyable, and I haven't even got there yet. So the Goodwood Revival dress is underway. The bodice is done. And over here, I have started on the skirt. I've done the pleat. I just need to press this and then top stitch it down. And then I've got the yoke and everything here, the rest of the skirt. The darts are all sewn and everything. I did all the darts at the start, which was great because now it's in the instructions. It's like sew the darts, and I'm like, no, I've already done them. I don't need to do them again. So yeah, I've got the lining here, all the darts sewn, and the mane. So I just need to assemble it, attach it to the bodice, and voila. Well, I was going to film this process and then forgot that I was going to film it, so I decided to start now. I am currently making the Mary Sun hat. I haven't done much so far. I've cut out my fabric and I'm now fusing the interfacing to the fabric. This is going to be so cute. So this is there's gonna be a popper on it, and then it's gonna be like this with a ribbon, but this will be on the outside, and then I'm doing like a pale pink on the inside, the lining fabric, which is cute. And because it's anti-static lining fabric, hopefully it won't make my hair go frizzy. But I'm just fusing it on this super strong interfacing using the iron and lots of steam. You can see I've got Bianca, the closet historian, on in the background. I am currently working my way through her entire back catalogue of YouTube videos because she is my favourite YouTuber. And I aspire to be as good as her one day. We can dream. I need to get a better setup than this, but you know, everyone has to start somewhere, and I've had a better setup than this. I'm just still finding my feet in this new place currently. So anyway, yeah, so with this, so I'm using Peltex, I think it's Peltex interfacing, the super firm one. And you have to fuse it onto the fabric using a damp press cloth. I'm just using a tea towel that I've wet in the sink. And the wool setting on the iron to generate lots of steam to get it to stick. You're supposed to use a better fabric than I have. So something less drapey, something with a bit more structure, but I wanted it to match my dress, so I've used the fabrics from my dress, and I figured I'm ironing it onto the interfacing, so that's going to give it the stability. But it's just been a bit tricky to iron to the interfacing so far because it's stretching out, especially the challis, the rayon challis or viscose challis. So yeah, I'm just doing the lining. I had this trouble with the fabric in the dress as well, so I'm nearly done with the dress. All I need to do is hem it and then hand sew the lining down. Stuck a bit, yes. Do the other end. I'm using my mini ironing board because I just can't be bothered to get the big one out. Yeah, so I need to hand sew down the lining, and I need to hem it. and hand sewing the lining. I started sitting on the sofa last night doing that, and it was getting on my nerves because the fabric for the dress is stretching out, has stretched out while I've been making it, and the lining fabric hasn't. So the lining is smaller than the main, so I'm having to sort of ease it in while I'm hand sewing it down, which is really annoying, and I just didn't have the patience for it last night, so I've put that to one side. I always find it's easier to hand sew a lining on a flat surface, so I'm going to sit at my sewing table and do that momentarily. I would like to have the hat and the dress done today, and then I can stop thinking about it, because it is quite annoying. There we go. So we've now, is this not gonna, so we've got my pink. I'm just checking that, so I've got it on the wall setting. It shouldn't burn my fabric, but you just go over it again without the press cloth on to eliminate any excess moisture. It's leaving like a textured finish because of the glue, and it's leaving imprints from the iron, which is really annoying. So I'm hoping they will, if I just go over it, hopefully that will sort of steam out. If not, it's going to be the inside, so you're not really going to see it. I don't know if you'll be able to see. Yeah, do you see it's slightly textured? But this will be on the inside. So this will be going this way. So you won't see much of it behind my head. So yeah, we've got both fabrics now fused. Two little, they're so cute. And then they go back to back like this. And I'll trim them just to make sure they're definitely the same size. And then this will be the hat then. Like this. But it'll have ribbon all around the outside. And then to like bias tape all around the outside. I've got like a reddy colour. I had my nails done to match the fabric. But yeah, so, and then you put a popper on the back here and it's reversible. So yeah, the next step is to sew on the bias tape, which I'm a bit nervous about because you have to sew it over both edges. So you put it around both edges and sew around on the machine. You have to catch both sides in. I'm a bit nervous. I might pin the two pieces together just to keep them together while I'm sewing, like in the middle, so they don't shift. I am nervous about this. I'm not the best at sewing things where you have to catch both sides. I'm really not great at it. So I'm just pressing down this the lining side again, just making sure it's all sticking. There, I think we're good. Rather annoyingly, a piece of, I mean you can't even see it really, but there, a piece of fluff has somehow got between the layers. Why has it gone dark? But that's going to be close to the nape of my neck. No one's going to see that. Look, it's going to be fine. This is my first go. I'm not expecting perfection, you know. Okay, I look absolutely horrendous. What? Ugh. It's the lighting. The light is right above me, so it's casting shadows under my eyes. Just ignore. Anyway, and the clock's not right, so ignore that as well. That's the dress. I just threw it over the mannequin because I need to hem it and everything. But here we have the two sides of the hat joined together with the little wander clips. I hate these. I hate them so much. I never use them. But for something like this, they're good because you can't really pin through this. I mean, you can, but it is thick. So we're going to baste these together. And I've just realised this is going to get in the way of the camera. If I knock you over, I'm sorry. Let's move you. Woo! Can everybody see me? Can you all hear me? Oh, that's actually better. Better lighting. You get a nice view of the fabric and the window. Okay, so we are going to just stitch around the outside, a basting stitch to join these together at 1/4 of an inch, and then 1/4 of an inch. Oh. Then we have to put bias tape around at 1/4 of an inch. So I've gone for a colour of thread that will blend in with the fabric. So if I go outside of the 1/4 of an inch, which I'm obviously going to do, no one will see. Oof. It feels like I'm sewing through, I don't know, something strong. It's actually easier to sew through this than I thought it would be. But it's blunting my needle extremely. This is so large and unwieldy now. It's like I need to like bend it up while there we go. Use my presser foot as a guide. You're just watching me sewing round in a circle and you can't even see what I'm doing. This is excellent content. I really need to get my filming setup sorted out because it's difficult at the moment. I can't have my lighting in here because there's not enough room. So I've just got this horrible light on the wall. It's quite a nice light room anyway, but for sewing it's nice to have the light on. And then I've got nowhere to put my studio lights. I guess I could have one here shining on to what I'm doing, and then I could have one there shining on to me. I think I need a ring light because I could have it behind the machine so it's lighting my face. So that's something I'm going to invest in, is a ring light. Space is limited. Then I could have my other studio light up in the spare room, which is going to be my cutting room and patterning table eventually when I start making, like, drafting my own patterns, which is what I want to do next year. So I need to make a sloper, and then I want to start recreating vintage styles like Bianca does at the Closet Historian. That is my dream. I would love to do that. And watching her trying to teach us all how to draft our own patterns is really inspiring for me. So that's what I want to do. So upstairs I'll have a patterning table that's also a cutting table, so I can film what I'm doing up there and then come down and sew down here. So I'm going to have 2 filming spaces basically. This is a nice non-thinky kind of job to do today because I don't have the mental capacity to sew today. I've got such a headache, and I was really tired last night, and I didn't get up until 10 a.m. this morning, which is unlike me, but I have been having horrible like cramps, you know, that time of the month, and I'm wondering if I'm just like feeling really exhausted because of that. Probably. We're getting into the inner part now, and I'm wondering how I'm going to get this under the machine. Already we're having issues. I don't want to bend it, you see. Okay, it's going all right, I think. I'm stuck against the wall now. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're all basted. It's not the best sewing I've ever done, but it's good enough. Okay, so I have trimmed my edges so they're nice. This is basted together now, so it's just one piece. I have got this bias binding. What a good colour match. Picked that online without seeing it in person. I am quite good at matching colours, I have to say. Like when I went to the nail place yesterday, I picked this colour. I didn't have the fabric with me, but I picked it. I think it's a good match. Okay, so now we need to put the seam binding. So the bias tape, I'm going to put it on the edge, and we need to make sure we're catching both edges in, both sides when we sew. Back on the Wonder clips. They're actually really good for this. So you're just opening it out and putting it over the edge, I think, because I've never done this before, so I'm assuming. This is going to be so stinking cute, like the cutest thing ever. I don't think I'm cute enough to wear this. I'm gonna look hecking cute though, I think. I always think when I see the people going up for the best dressed competition, like I always think, oh, that'll never be me, because I never feel. This is my third Goodwood Revival. The first time I made the Charm Patterns Mariner dress, which I didn't like. I hate that pattern on me. I love the pattern, it's cute, but on me, nah. And I just made it because it looked vintage, and I wanted to make sure I looked vintage, and I didn't really know what I was doing or how to like dress for my shape, and I felt really bad. I was wearing a coat that was too small for me. Again, I think it was from Lindy Bop, but because it looked vintage I wore it because it was all I had, and it was so tight on my arms. It just wasn't nice to wear, and I felt really uncomfortable the whole time. And I saw all these like glamorous people walking around, and I just didn't feel like I belonged there. It was really horrible. Then last year I made a dress. No, not last year, it was the year before. Sorry, I've missed one in between. Last year apparently it rained really badly, so I'm kind of glad I wasn't there for that. But yeah, I made a society dress with the short sleeves, and I was going for 2 days, and I made another society dress with long sleeves for the second day. But if you watched it, you might remember that I didn't stay for the second day, and I was really ill on the first day, the Friday. So it was sweltering hot. It was that time of the month, and it was really horrible and bad, and I just felt really bad and ill, and we didn't stop and get any food or drink or anything for some reason. And it was just not a nice day. I didn't feel good. So I just went home the next day and left my friend there. He takes photos, so he was quite happy to not have me there, traipsing around after him like a lost puppy. This is so cute. But yeah, so twice now I've been, and I've not had the best time. And last time I made a video of the dress I was making for the Goodwood Revival lifestyle editor, and they never used my footage, and I just assumed it was because they thought I looked rubbish, probably because they had so much footage they just haven't got around to using it. I got paid for it, so it's fine, but I just felt altogether rubbish, and I sort of wish it had been this year that they'd asked me to video what I was making, because I've actually made something cute. Right, we're going around a curve here. Yes, I think. Maybe I should hand sew it. I'm thinking if I machine sew it, I could easily go off the edge. I just have to be really, really careful. Make sure I catch both sides. That's what I'm worried about, is catching both sides. I'm worried I won't. Looks like I should. I guess I could always put some trim around it if it doesn't work out. And is anyone going to be looking that closely at my hat? This is going to be so cute though. I'm going to try and machine sew it. Famous last words. So I've gone around the front, as you can see. What I suspected would happen happened on the back, is that half of it has not caught, so now I'm going to have to go round. It's caught in some places but not others, so now I'm going to have to go round and hand sew it down and try and cover up my wobbly stitching lines, because I'm actually really gutted about this. I knew this would happen. I cannot do this where you catch the other side. For some reason it just never works. So I'm just going to hand sew this down now. I'm really irritated because I didn't want to do hand sewing on this. If I'd have known this was going to happen, oh, what am I saying? I knew this was going to happen. I would have just sewn it by hand anyway. You know? Oh, so irritating. Might as well just crack on and do it, I suppose. It's just annoying. Does anyone else ever do this? Like, sometimes you're sewing and you're just not having a good time, and you just think to yourself, why do I do this? Because I have just had the needle go behind my nail into the top of my finger twice and made it bleed. And it stings like crazy because I broke this nail and I broke it right down to below the top of like where it joins your skin, basically. I broke it below that, so it was really painful. And the nail technician yesterday put a new tip on it, and then I've just gone and like shoved the needle behind it twice. The end of the needle, the blunt end, as in the eye of the needle, has just gone behind there twice and made it bleed. And I'm like, why do I even do this? Does this actually bring me joy? Like, yes, it does, but on days like today, I must be hormonal, because I've cried twice and got in a mood with this. And I've sewn about, well, I've done this much between my fingers, and already I'm questioning my life choices. However, so I'm just trying to tuck the end in there. I am liking how it's looking with the hand stitching better than, like, I think I'm able to cover up the fact that I didn't catch it with the machine. So, you know, we're going to carry on and try not to injure ourselves. I need to find my thimble, really. I have a thimble. I need to find it. It was always on the end of one of my cotton reels, and now I don't know where it's gone. So I will find it. But I'm very upset right now because my finger hurts and the thread keeps tangling. Like, why does it do that? I got it from the bobbin. I got the bobbin thread because apparently that is less likely to tangle. So I'm using the bobbin thread. I am, put this in the drawer out of the way. So I'm using the bobbin thread. I'm using no longer than from here to elbow, because again, that is apparently less likely to tangle. And it is still, the thread tangles. Like, why? Why do you hate me, Mary Sunhat? Why do you hate me? I just want to look cute for Goodwood. I just want to feel nice about myself for once while I'm out in public. I feel good about myself in private when I'm dressed up in my nice things that I've made, and then as soon as I go outside and there's people around, I hate myself again. Real talk. I just want to feel good about the way I look. You know, it's so hard when you're on this like self-confidence journey, because you still have days where you don't feel good, and sometimes you just have to pretend. You just have to fake it because you don't feel good. This is the story of my life. Fake it till you make it. Try not to stab yourself with a needle in the process. Here we go, one Mary Sun hat. Done. Very happy with the colours. So cute. How it's going to look on me, I don't know. Let's try. I feel a little bit like Little Bo Peep. But it is cute. And it will keep the sun off my head on the day. And I think it, like, what I'm going to have my hair like vintage styled down. I think it is cute though. It's meant to be reversible, so... But I actually really like it. I'm wondering if... Thing is, I can't turn it around the other side. I actually got blood on it because I stabbed myself with the needle so much. But I think... Let me tuck that behind my ears. That's better. It's going to fall off my head. I know it is. But... it's cute, and if I don't want to wear it I can kind of like tuck it behind me, but actually I think it's quite sweet. I like it.
Scan a rack and know if there's anything on it for me, and I can smell it. I can smell the arrow.
Yeah, you
I can tell if there's anything 30s, 40s, or 50s in there or not.
unfinished outfit, the outfit that didn't get to be worn, to Goodwood Revival because of the weather. I am boiling right now, perfect for this dress, but on the day it was torrential rain and the wind was crazy. We all had to keep diving for cover. It just wasn't going to happen. So this didn't get an outing. I also haven't got the zip done up right now because I live on my own. There was no one to help me put the zip up. But yes, this is the Monroe dress in this beautiful pink kind of leopard print fabric from Minerva with the matching Mary sun hat, another Patreon pattern. This was a mid-month extra Patreon pattern and it's so cute. I love it so much. Very easy to make and reversible. So you could wear it with just the pink side showing, but I got blood on it, didn't I? Because I pricked myself many times making it. Otherwise it was actually really lovely to make. But yes, thank you for getting to the end of the video. Sorry you didn't get to see the dress in action on the day, but the weather just wasn't playing ball. Fortunately though, another Monroe dress got a chance to have an outing. And I felt very cute in my outfit. Also, I want to wear gloves with everything. There's something just very, very cute about wearing gloves with everything. And, oop, could throw this over the shoulders for a bit of a extra cover. And why is it? It's because it's probably upside down, isn't it? Whatever. But yes, you get the idea. It's just a classy look, isn't it? I like it. I think I'm done with the Monroe dress now. I've made 3. That's enough. On to other things. But yes, if you got to this part of the video, sorry it was a bit chaotic, but thank you for joining me. And I will put in, I think I've put in footage about, I'll probably put the footage for Goodwood before this, so you would have seen what I wore on the day, and I felt very glamorous, so that was the main thing. But yes, thank you for watching. I really appreciate all of you being here with me on this chaotic kind of random journey. And I realised that I told you all that I didn't want to sew vintage styles anymore, and then I've gone straight into sewing vintage styles. It's because I realised I do actually really like vintage style and I want to carry on with it. So yes, but anyway, thank you for being here. Please do like the video, leave a comment and subscribe. I appreciate all the interaction, and I'll be back for another video shortly. The next one coming up should be something special for Halloween. So yes, and I'm taking my glove off so I can stop the camera. Thank you all for being here.